Yeah, a couple, you have a diagnosis of Yorgos's injury, and can you talk about why you made the formation change again, and what you hope to accomplish, and did it work?
So first one is easy, I don't know. We have to do the test, it's the hamstring, but we have to see and do the scan. You ask about the tactical change. Well, different reasons. Sometimes, we have to keep the same game model, the same way of playing, but obviously we have to adjust at times. We've been conceding many goals this year, and I felt that just having an extra number there without sacrificing the build-up and the way we play and play out from the back and all that, how we can do to be a bit more solid. And I think it worked. I think, of course, there are moments where we're stretched and things like that, but allowing against this team only one shot on target is a massive accomplishment for me. Last year we did the same and even better, no shots on goal, but today was very good. I think on the ball we were also very good today, and we understood the moments of the game, and when now we're telling them, okay, now you try to play, you try to create chances, and we are just solid and narrow shape and compact. So I think it was a great adjustment by the players, and the way they played the game plan was very good.
And just to follow up on that, how long have y'all been working on this three center back? I know you played it a lot last season, mostly because injuries forced some of that. We've seen it a little bit at the end of games this season, but never starting a game with it. So how long did y'all work on this before you put it in?
Well, I have to come back to 2021. 2021 was back five. George Bello and Tom Walks, Mike Robinson, Alan Franco, and Brooks Lehman. That was the back five. Santi with Rosetto Mosley, then Marcelino or Barco, then Joseph and Luis. So that was very similar to what we did today with different players. And this year, at the beginning, pre-season and that, out of the back four, we were tweaking at times to back three with Andrew Guman as a center back, right? So I think the game model doesn't change, so then making these little tweaks is easier when we're playing the same style, and it's just a little adjustment. But I think the credit is always to the players, because we can have the master plan here, but if they don't have the determination, the commitment, the hard work, the intelligence to play the game model and adjust at times things that we didn't review in the film or in the training session, and they do better, they understand the situation and play the right pass or do the right run or just the decision making is good. I think it's all on the players. So it was a great performance. I just told them that individually and collectively it was fantastic. I cannot think of one player that didn't have an outstanding game. I think everyone had an outstanding game, and that's what we need. That's the standard.
I agree with Joe.
Gonzalo, how do you carry the momentum from this win into the next match at Montreal?
Let me enjoy this one. Let me drink a beer and enjoy a little bit, because this was a good match. And Philadelphia is a great team. It's a fantastic team, competitive team. They play their own style. They at times we don't judge correctly this team. Philadelphia is not like they just play long balls and watch for second balls. They have an intention. They have a pattern. They have a form to be successful with their style, and they have purpose in the way they play, and they are all buying into that idea. So beating this team means a lot to me, because they are a great team. So let me just enjoy and reflect on today's game, and then I hope by tomorrow, Monday, and then Tuesday, the first day back, we will digest what we did well, what we can correct as well, and then coming up with a different game plan versus Montreal away has been our Achilles heels more than the results. The performances when we play away is what I'm going to emphasize the team this week. It's about why we changed that much, why we don't play the same as today, now when we play away. So I think that's going to be pretty much the message, and the mentality of the training sessions is going to be more on that, fighting against adversity, playing against more opponents or something like that, where we can spark that pressure, recreate that pressure that at times we feel when we are playing in another stadiums.
Joe, then Danelle.
Well, speaking of enjoying it, I was going to ask if this was the most satisfied you've been with the team this year, just because of the opponent, like you just talked about, and the instructions, the tactical switch up, and seeing the way that the players were able to pick up those instructions and implement them in the game.
Well, I'm very happy. Yes, that the tactical game plan that the coaches came up with, I think was very good. You know, all the ideas of my coaching staff, very good, very well applied, very good training sessions, all that. But again, for me, it's about the response of the players, because it's not easy coming back from a 4-0 and a very poor performance and kind of, you know, a tough week because the first day back wasn't great, and you know how we respond to that. And the way they respond is what tells me that the players are fully committed. Now, the challenge is to maintain that, and game after game, we try to maintain that standard. That's the challenge that I'm facing as a coach, and I will try to give the players always the tools to succeed on that. But again, it's the players' mentality in this game what makes me very, very happy.
And just one more on an individual who we don't talk about a lot, but Brooks Lennon is a guy who plays 90 minutes, it seems like, every game, just a very reliable player for you, where you don't seem to have to sub him out because his fitness is top notch. Can you just kind of talk about how nice it is as a manager to have a player like him?
Well, one thing I can tell you about Brooks and why his performances are making me very, very happy is because he's been very, very humble. And he's been working with Eugenio, with Diego a lot. And when I say a lot, it's almost every day, watching film, watching every detail in his defending first. Because as you remember, he was a winger in Russell Lake in his development. And being a fullback today, he was a wing back. One of his Achilles heels being the individual defending, blocking crosses, blocking shots, being aggressive, the angles, the situations, they're all tools. And the way he's been improving this week is fantastic to me. But a lot of that is his humility to understand what he has to improve, and then we know what he can provide offensively. Today was a good testament that many crosses, many good actions, many good passes, and his goal, of course. But the defensive side of Brooks has been improving massively, and something that we can actually measure. And that's what makes me very happy. When I remember those, you know, I remember him and Eugenio, you know, in the couch watching the film and watching every situation, and it takes at times 30, 40 minutes, their conversation. And then he applies, he stays to do extra. All of that makes me very, very happy.
Danelle and Doug.
Coach, how important has Purata been to this team this year? He's played in all 21 games, started all 21, the only player on the team that's done that.
Who, I'm sorry?
Purata.
Purata, well, yeah. I mean, I think Purata, since he arrived, he's been very consistent. One of the main things, again, is similar. He's a hard worker. He's always first one to arrive, last one to leave. At times it's 3 p.m. and I'm still around. I go for a coffee and he's just having lunch there, you know, after doing his gym session. So he's a guy that is very, very committed to the cause, and he takes care of his body very, very well. So he's always reliable. And then his performances, I think you can say, has been solid. There are now a couple of things where he can improve, but overall he's been very solid for us. So happy for him being reliable and you know, available also for every game. It's very good.
Doug and Sydney, locker room's open, so go ahead.
3 quick ones. First, what's your preferred beer? Second, when is your dose going to have the scan? And 3, 2 guys who were in starting lineup today who've had a difficult time in the past few matches getting consistent minutes, Chopchol and Hernandez. Why did you like to start those guys in place of Tyler Wolf and Andrew Gutman, who's played as the 3rd center back?
Chopchol and Ronald, and that's it, right? Those 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the beer, IPAs are my favorite. GG, we are calling some doctors to see when we can do the scan. If today is Sunday, but you know, if not, it's going to be tomorrow or earlier in the morning, and we'll see after that what the response. And then I think when I went to the reflection of those 2, I felt that I had a big time choosing Ronald over Noah, because Noah is a center back, a proper center back in that backline 5. He's very physical, his aerial duels are good, he has his speed to recover. But I felt that it was a game against 2 very good 9s, very experienced somehow, because Conferencia is fairly young, but but there are very good players, so I felt that it could have been a stretch to put him in that situation in these type of difficult games, and I went a bit more for the experience with Ronald, who did great, by the way. He had also, again, as everyone, a great performance. And then Chop, it was the same, difficult decision between Tyler and Matchup, because both being very good from the bench, both of them. Probably Tyler a bit more goal dangerous and impacting the game in the final third, but Matchup has been very similar. And the only reason, honestly, it was a bit set pieces. I was worried about the set pieces and how good Philadelphia was, and I felt that an extra tall body there that can take care of certain things was better for this game. But both of them are doing great, actually. So I told him, actually, at times I can pick and choose one of those two, but 60 minutes, max speed, max intensity, don't save any energy, and then the next guy will come and finish the work. And I think they work very well tonight.
So,
Okay.
I'm with you on ideas.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonzalo, I want to ask you about the emotional response after Rebels had to exit the match around the half-hour mark, considering just kind of the breakdown defensively and just lost points at the end of matches. I mean, how important was this from an emotional standpoint to not only win the match, but add another goal in the second half and get 3 points for Rebels?
I think you nailed it. I think it's not just the victory, because you can win many times. I mean, I remember always Chicago's game this year where, I think Chicago was actually better than us, but we won. So then at times that, you're not completely happy. Today's game is again very important for us. Number one, because of the opponent we beat, very good opponent. Number two, because the way we beat them was very good. We showed that on the ball, we were understanding the game plan, disrupting the opponent, creating a lot of chances, a lot of shots, a lot of good moments. But defensively, we were actually fixing some of the things that haven't been great throughout the season. So this gives me a lot of hope for the next few games that we have in front of us before Leagues Cup of, just trying to be more solid and have better performances in general. I think if we have similar performances as today, we're going to collect many points in the next few games.
last one in English, Stan, go ahead.
It seemed like at the start of the second half, they shifted Alejandro out wide. How did y'all adjust to that in particular? It seemed like they were creating a big numbers advantage down the wing.
So they had the advantage on that win in terms of numbers.
Yes.
That's what, yeah, well, it's something that they were doing in the first half as well, at the end of the first half. Actually, in the halftime, one of the corrections we made was they were waiting for Caleb Wiley to go on Mbaiso higher on the field because he was very deep. So then Caleb Wiley had no one to mark. He goes and presses Mbaiso, and then Bedoya runs on the back of Caleb, and it was hard for Amar to read that movement. So we were saying at halftime, no, let's wait for Bedoya's movement, and even if Mbaiso gets the ball, we press inside out with Amar, and then we just shift over with Ibarra and Macho, so almost in a 5-3-2. So then we corrected that way, and I think the second half was better, even though at times it caused us problems because they took the back of, they were playing a lot of balls in behind Caleb, and at times he wasn't, it's a long time since he doesn't play fullback, so his timing, his angles, at times he can do that better. But even there, I think we solved it very well by just being solid with the back five and then wait a little bit, delay the response of who jumps on Mbaiso. And at the end it was similar when we switched to Ossie and Santi and then Tyler. Those three were working together very well.
Switch to Spanish. Can you pass the mic back to Juan Carlos? Thank you.
Thank you. Profe, buenas noches. Felicidades por la victoria, Juan Carlos Brando para la mejor Atlanta. ¿Qué siente que tiene que hacer este equipo para tener continuidad con las victorias? Ganamos un partido, se empatan dos, uno se pierde, luego volvemos aquí, volvemos a ganar, se hace un fútbol espectacular. Pero ¿qué siente usted que necesita hacer el equipo para tener esa continuidad de victorias?
Consistencia en el rendimiento. Yo creo que eso es clave. De alguna manera siempre he dicho que el mantener las mismas alineaciones o tratar de que ser muy constantes con las alineaciones nos va a dar mucha consistencia y no lo hemos podido lograr del todo entre ciertas lesiones, ahora Copa Oro, fechas FIFA, no hemos podido repetir mucho alineaciones y eso me preocupa un poco porque una vez más me gusta la consistencia y eso creo que nos va a empezar a dar esa rutina de tener buenos rendimientos y por ende buenos resultados, pero más allá de los resultados creo que nuestros rendimientos han sido muy así. Digo, resultados aparte, esto no me gusta más así, especialmente en casa hemos sido muy sólidos, pero de visita no, y el rendimiento cambia mucho. Es lo que me enfocaré mucho en esta semana porque tenemos 2 partidos seguidos de visita, Montreal y New England, y tenemos que hacerlo mucho mejor, mucho mejor.
Profe, y otro comentario, hace algunas semanas que estuvimos aquí, le preguntaba acerca de Tyler Wolf, que lo estaba usando de sustituto, me dijo que le gustaba usarlo de sustituto, creo que lo usó contra New York Red Bulls, no se vio mucho y hoy entra y marca ciertas diferencias arrastrando marcas. ¿Cuál es el análisis que usted hace acerca de Tyler?
No, yo creo que está en este momento, está peleando ahí el puesto hoy con los jugadores que tenemos hoy disponibles con Macho. Creo que los dos son muy similares, jóvenes, muy entusiastas, con mucho desarrollo físico, técnicos y que me pueden jugar ambos por dentro y por fuera. Tienen muchas similitudes. Capaz que Macho tiene un rango mayor de velocidad, pero Tyler agarra la pelota muy bien, es muy creativo y tiene muy buena finalización Tyler. Entonces, esos pequeños detallitos me van a ir marcando quién está en su mejor forma y tácticamente cuál me viene mejor para cada partido. Creo que ellos dos están en una competencia directa ahí y bueno, ya que venga Derek y que tengamos a los demás jugadores, veremos en qué situación están y cuál es su rol. Pero te puedo decir que con los dos estoy muy contento en el día a día y en los días de partido lo están haciendo muy bien.
Anything else? Last one right here. Go ahead.
Jorge Benigno para Balón Dividido Atlanta. La semana pasada te había comentado sobre que en algunas situaciones a veces te marcan demasiado rápido. Esta vez quedas en 0 y sobre todo contra un equipo como es Filadelfia que Atlanta United nunca había podido ganar. ¿Cómo te sientes después de esto?
Bueno, creo que la única victoria o la última vez que ganamos fue en 2018 en temporada regular, lo cual es mucho tiempo. Estoy muy contento por eso, pero como bien dices, creo que el mantener el arco en 0 contra este tipo de equipos es muy importante porque con su modelo de juego, con su forma de sobrecargar números en ataque, te crean muchas jugadas entre segundas pelotas, tiros, rebotes, les quedan muchas situaciones para poder anotar goles y hoy creo que los nulificamos, se puede decir, porque bloqueamos casi todos los tiros que fueron, solo permitimos un tiro al arco, en el segundo tiempo ninguno. Entonces eso me habla de que el equipo está comprometido con mejorar en la parte que nos ha afectado mucho en las últimas semanas, que es la solidez defensiva, lo cual siempre digo empieza con Yaku, con Miguel, con Thiago, la forma como aprietan, cómo ensucian la salida del rival para no tener opciones claras después que nos puedan romper y poner malas situaciones. Después obviamente mediocampistas, defensas, portero, hicieron un gran trabajo el día de hoy.
Thanks, everyone.